This week on What Works For Me, we're traveling to Minnesota and watch Iris and Boothin. And they explain what's taken them years to learn about their food plots. They've learned on their property that they're better off planting a number of smaller plots. They specialize in archery hunts, and they've learned through trial and error that the smaller plots work better for them. And I think across the country, folks are realizing this too, especially from an archery standpoint. But one thing to remember, these smaller plots, if you've got a high deer density, the deer can keep them mowed to the ground, and you won't really see the benefits of the food plot if you've got a high deer density. So somewhere along the line, you've got to balance your deer density and the size of your food plots. These guys have killed some big deer through the years, and they've figured it out. It really works for them. So let's go to Minnesota and see what they're up to.
You know, when it comes to food plots, me and Booty, we've tried all kinds of different sizes, different styles, but what's worked the best for us is small food plots tucked in tight to bang areas. You know, a food plot no bigger than the distance you can shoot your bow.
You know, a lot of people think that food plots, putting in food plots, is very expensive, but really it isn't. If you can just find that little spot where the sun shines in and the grass grows and there's not many weeds, just test the soil. If the soil's good, mow the grass down, put a little clover in there. It's really cheap. Just put a little elbow grease into your work and you're gonna get a decent food plot to grow, and it's going to benefit you in the long run. You know, Jason and I, we're not farmers, so doing with everything we got to make a decent food plot and maybe increase our odds of killing a nice deer.
You know, a few years back at that old horseshoe food plot, that was mine and Booty's lucky food plot. You know, it worked pretty good for us having a food plot tucked in tight to cover. You know, just big enough that we could shoot, you know, across with our bows, and that's seemed to work the best for us.
We put so much work into these food plots. Opening night, I just smacked a Mongo at 40 yards.
And it has increased our odds in the past, and we've killed a couple Pope and Youngs off this, and we know that our strategy's working.
That's what it's all about. All the hard work, all the effort, me and Eric coming out here and putting all these food plots in, and this here's your final result right here, and this is a bruiser.